Hello. Today I'd like to talk about subtracting integers. Specifically, I want to talk about subtraction when we're subtracting a negative number. So this is going to cause us to have a double negative. So let's start by taking a look. I first want to discuss opposites. If we have the number 5 and we want to show that we have the opposite of 5, the opposite of 5 is negative 5, and we put a minus sign in front. So the opposite of 5 we would write as negative 5. But what if we started with negative 5? To write the opposite of negative 5, we would put another negative sign in front of it. So now this is kind of an odd thing where we have a minus negative 5 or a negative 5. You can read it either way. But a negative 5 is really the opposite of negative 5, if you think about it, is positive 5. And so the opposite of negative 5 would just be 5. So when we have that minus negative, it actually changes to a positive. Much of the time when you see this in math, you will see it notated this way, where you'll have a minus sign or a negative sign in front of a number in parentheses. This is saying minus negative 8 or negative 8, which really is interpreted as the opposite of negative 8. And we know that the opposite of negative 8 is actually positive 8. And so we kind of just merge those two negative signs together with that parenthesis and make it a plus sign. So what does this have to do with subtracting integers? I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look at 4 minus negative 2. Here what I've done is we have a subtraction problem. We're starting with 4, and that 4 is a positive 4, but we're subtracting a negative 2. So whenever we have this minus negative 2, that is an indicator that we're doing the opposite of negative 2, and we're going to make that a positive 2. So what we actually have here is a positive 4 and a positive 2. Well, since all of these are green, we just add them together, and 4 plus 2 gives us positive 6. Let's take a look at another one. Here we have negative 8 minus negative 4. And so again, we have a negative 8 minus negative. So we want the opposite of negative 4. Well, the opposite of negative 4 is plus 4. So really what we have is the problem negative 8, which are 8 negatives, and 4 positives. And so if you remember, when we have that many, when we have some positives and negatives, we've got some that cancel out. So we've got 4 pairs that will cancel out, leaving us with 4 negatives remaining. So the final answer is negative 4. Now remember, this is a little bit different than what we were looking at before. We don't have that double negative in this question. This question is just negative 8 minus 4. So the 8 is negative here, but we don't have that minus negative. So in this case, this 4 is just negative 4. So we have 8 negatives, 4 negatives. That gives us a total of 12 negatives, or negative 12 as our answer. Take a minute and pause the video and try these 3 questions on your own. For negative 2 minus negative 5, you should have gotten positive 3. For negative 7 minus negative 4, you should have gotten negative 3. And for 3 minus negative 15, the answer is 18. I hope this helped you understand how to subtract a negative number. Thank you.